Hey guys, I'm Dylan with DylAcademy, and basically today we're going to be doing Math Paper 4H from May 2008. Alright, so for question 1A it starts easy. You're just being asked to solve for x. Now first of all, to solve for x, we need to get all the x's on one side and all the numbers on one side. So how do we do this? Basically what we do is let's say we want to get all the x's on the left hand side, we subtract 2x on both sides. So we get over here 6x minus 2x plus 13 is equal to 7. Now 6x minus 2x is 4x. And now all we got to do is, to get all the numbers on one side, we subtract 13 on both sides. So minus 13. And what we're going to get is 4x is equal to 7 minus 13, which is negative 6. Now to solve for x, we have to divide both sides by 4. So 4 and 4 cancel to form 1. And x will form minus 6 over 4, which simplifies to minus 3 over 2. Okay, so 1b is similar to 1a, except you're solving for y. Now in this case, first of all, we have to add both sides by 2 and not multiply by 5, because y is only being divided by 5, and 2 is not being divided by 5. So in this case, you have to first add 2 on both sides. So add 2, and you're going to get y over 5 is equal to 4 plus 2, which is 6. Then what you got to do is multiply by 5 on both sides to calculate a value for y. And basically, 5 and 5 cancel to form 1. You're going to get y is equal to 6 times 5, which is nothing but 30. So for question 2, you're given a diagram of two towns, A and B. And basically for question 2a, they're asking you to measure the bearing of B from A. So basically a bearing, what it is just like an angle. And it just helps people tell which direction they want to go in. And it's basically an angle measured in degrees. And so basically, let's say there's this little guy here. He wants to know the bearing in this question to get to B from A. So basically what you need to do to measure a bearing is, first of all, you need to draw a small little compass here. North, east, south, west. Now what a bearing is, it's just like an angle measured from north in a clockwise direction to the angle you want to travel in. So basically from north, you draw a little angle all the way until you reach the point of the direction you want to travel. So bearing is just measured from north in a clockwise direction, an angle measured from north. So basically all you got to do is measure this angle right here, and you're going to get the bearing from A to B, to get to B from A. And you basically know that this part is 180, so you can just pretty much measure this angle over here and just add 180 to it, and you'll know your bearing. And your answer can be from a range of, I think, 248 to 252, something like that. So yeah. Now for question 2b. So for question 2b, they say that C is another town. So there's another town C. And the bearing of C from A is 125. So let's draw another little compass here. North, east, south, west. Now I don't have a protractor, so I'm going to do an approximation of 125 degrees. So basically, since we're measuring from north, we go clockwise, and that'll be about 125 degrees. So you know that C is somewhere in this direction. Now, in question 2b, they're asking you to find the bearing of A from C. So meaning, the little guy wants to get, this time, from C, he wants to go back to A, right there. Okay? So what you got to do is draw a little compass here again. North, east, south, west. And you got to measure from north all the way till you hit this line over here. And remember, you have to always go clockwise. So in this case, it's just, you know that all of this is 270. So all you got to do is really measure this angle and add 270 to it, and then basically you'll get your answer for the bearing to go back. And your answer should lie within a range of 302 to 308 degrees. Yeah, and that's it. Okay, so for question 3, you're given a table showing information about the shoe sizes of 20 different people. And in 3a, you're being asked to find the median shoe size. So median is nothing but like a mid-value. It's kind of like, for example, if I had like a set of values like 1, 2, 2, 3, and 5. The median in this case would be the mid-value, which in this case is 2. And it's a mid-value only after the numbers have been ordered properly, meaning like this is in numerical order, so the median can be found by the mid-value. So it's only after the numbers have been ordered numerically, and then you find the mid-value. So in this case of the table, the numbers have been ordered numerically, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And basically there are 20 different people, right? Because 3 plus 8 plus 5 plus 2 plus 2 gives you 20. So what is the middle value? The middle value will be nothing but 20 divided by 2, which will be 10. So 10 will be like the middle value, because if I wrote this all out, like 5, 5, 5, 6, and I kept writing it, so on, I would find the 10th number would be the middle value. So that means that first, now you know that the 10th number is the middle value. So what is the 10th number? If you look at this, 5 can't be the 10th number because it only has 3 people. So 5 would only be written 3 times. However, 6 does go over the 10th number because 8 more people are with a shoe size of 6. So if I kept writing the 6 down, the 10th number would be a 6. So that means that the median shoe size is 6 people. A shoe size of 6, not 6 people. Well, for question 3b, it says that exactly one of the 20 of these people has a collar size of 15. And this guy Gene, he says if you choose one of these 20 people at random, the probability that this person will either have a shoe size of 8 or a collar size of 13 is 2 over 20 plus 1 over 20, which is 3 over 20. And first of all, you have to say if Gene is correct. Now, my answer to this is not necessarily. I mean, he could be correct, but it's not always necessary that he will be. And to do this, I'm going to take an example of, let's say, there are 5 people. Okay? And I say that one out of 5 of these people has a collar size of 15. And then I also say that 2 out of 5 people have a shoe size of 8. Right? So now, let's say this guy has a shoe size of 8. And let's say also this guy has a shoe size of 8. Now, let's say he has a shoe size of 15. Okay, so this probability would work because 3 out of 5 of the people, if we apply this 1 over 5 plus 3 over 5, so 3 out of 5 of the people would technically have a shoe size of either a shoe size of 8 or a collar size of 15. However, what if this guy had a shoe size of 8 and a collar size of 15? That means only 2 out of 5, the probability of a person having either a shoe size of 8 or a collar size of 15 is 2 out of 5. So that means that this probability wouldn't necessarily apply to this situation. So that's why my answer is not necessarily. Now to put this in words, basically, because in the next part of the question they ask you to give a reason for your answer, you got to say if this rule wouldn't apply if one person had both a collar size 15 and a shoe size of 8. And that's the reason. For this question, you can have a different, 3 different answers. You can have yes, no, or not necessarily. But as long as it's backed up correctly, then it's fine. Okay, 4a is a very easy question. They're asking you to find the value of 3 minus 5x when x is equal to negative 2. So all you got to do is take this x equal to negative 2 and put it into this question. So 3 minus 5 times x is negative 2, so negative 2. So 3 minus, first of all do the multiplication, minus 5 times minus 2 is plus 10, so it becomes 3 plus 10, which is equal to 13. Okay, 4b is just as easy. You're just being asked to multiply out 5 brackets y minus 2. Now when you're multiplying of an outside fraction with an outside number with a bracket, all you got to do is multiply this by each of the terms separately. So you get 5 times y becomes 5y, minus 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. So it's 5. Okay, so in 4c, you're being asked to factorize w squared plus 5w. Now all factorizing is taking the highest common factor between these two terms and basically dividing each term separately by that highest common factor. So in this case, what is the highest common factor? It's nothing but a w. So then w squared divided by w is nothing but w, and 5w divided by w is nothing but 5. So this is your factorized form. Okay, so question 5. There's a table that shows information about the number of letters delivered to Manjit's house each day. And they have the number of letters and the probability. And in 5a, they say that there are 30 days in June. Calculate an estimate of the number of days in which the number of letters delivered is 0. So each day, the probability of delivering 0 letters is 0.2. So if each day 0.2, like there was a 2 out of 10 chance of delivering 0 letters, that means for 30 days it would just be 2 over 10 times 30. Because this probability would be done over 30 days. So that would give you an answer of, or it's 2 over 10 or 0.2 times 30, whatever you want. 2 over 10 times 30 gives you an answer of 6. So 6 days in which the number of letters delivered could be 0 in June. Okay, so 5b is asking you to find the probability that on a particular day, the number of letters delivered is 6 or more. So, first of all, you have to find the probability that 6 or more letters will be delivered on a day. So, it's either this or this, because over here you're delivering 6 or more letters, and over here you're delivering more than 6 letters. So, it's both of these probabilities added up will give you a total probability, which is 0.3, and this is the probability that on a particular day you'll deliver either 6 or more letters, because the probabilities get added up. Okay, so question 6, you're supposed to show that 2 over 3 plus 1 over 4 is equal to 11 over 12. You're supposed to prove it. So we're going to take the left hand side over here, and we're going to do that. So 2 over 3 plus 1 over 4. Now first of all, you can't just add these fractions. They need to have a common denominator, meaning these two bottom things, they need to be equal. They're called denominators. They need to be equal to add them up. So how do we do this? First of all, we got to do this thing called cross multiplication, which is where you multiply each of these denominators by the opposite numerator, and then you multiply them together, right? So basically what this does is it gives you a common denominator which is equal. So let's do this. So basically what you're going to get is 2 times 4, which is 8, plus 1 times 3 is nothing but 3. So 3 times 4 is nothing but 12. So this all becomes over 12. And so in this way you've gotten a common denominator. Now you can add these two numbers. So basically what is 8 plus 3? 8 plus 3 is nothing but 11. And the denominator stays the same. So you've proved that this is equal to this. Okay, so question 7a is asking you to write 3 to the power of 8 times 3 to the power of 6 as a power of 3. Now when we have two exponents, which is nothing but something to the power of something, meaning you have a number in the bottom and a number in the top. When you have two exponents, all you got to do with the same base, meaning this number, right? And they're being multiplied together. All you got to do is add their powers together. So in this case, we have the same base, and they're being multiplied together, so all you got to do is add their powers. So this becomes 3 to the power of 8 plus 6, which is equal to 3 to the power of 14. And in this way, you've written it as a power of 3. Okay, 7b, you're being asked to write 7 to the power of 5 over 7 to the power of 2 as a power of 7. Now another exponent rule is when you have the same base and they're being divided. Basically, you just need to subtract your powers. So all you got to do, all this becomes is 7 to the power of 5 minus 2, which is equal to 7 to the power of 3. Basically, when you're dividing exponents with the same base, you just subtract their powers. Okay, so you're given this equation and you're being asked to find the value of n. Now we're going to apply both of the questions we did earlier, division and multiplication. So first of all, we have to find the value of n. So basically, we'll look at the left-hand side. 5 to the power of n times 5 to the power of 3. They both have the same base, and they're being multiplied together. So all we got to do is add their powers. So it becomes 5 to the power of n plus 3 over 5 to the power of 7 is equal to 5 to the power of 2. Now, 5 to the power of n plus 3 over 5 to the power of 7. They both have the same base, and they're being divided. So it just becomes 5 to the power of n plus 3 minus 7 is equal to 5 to the power of 2. So 5 to the power of n minus 4 is equal to 5 to the power of 2. Now here's another rule for you. When you have an equation where both bases are equal on either side, right? You can say that you can just get rid of the bases, and you can make the powers equal to each other. So n minus 4 is, this is not n, this is 2, is equal to 2. So you can just get rid of the bases and equate just the powers, because it's another law, okay? So basically you get n minus 4 is equal to 2. So n is, add 4 on both sides, is equal to 2 plus 4, so n is equal to 6. Okay, so for 7b, you're given two numbers, a and b, and their prime factors, like basically what they can be multiplied to give you. So basically you're being asked to find the highest common factor of a and b. Now the highest common factor of a and b, when you're given like its breakdown in terms of prime factors, all it is taking the highest amount of each factor which they have in common. So in this case, if you look at, let's say they have twos in common and they have threes in common. 5 and 7, they're not common, right? So you have 2's in common and 3's in common. So you have to take the highest amount they have in common. In this case, if you look at both numbers a and b, the highest amount they have in common is 2 to the power of 3. And if you look at 3's, the highest they have in common is just a 3 over here. So then if you multiply both of these together, you're going to get their highest common factor. And if you multiply them out, it's just 8 times 3, which is nothing but 24 as their highest common factor. Okay, so for question 8, you're being asked to calculate the total surface area of this prism. So all you got to do is figure out that this can be split into one triangle here, A, and this triangle also is similar to it, so we'll call it A as well. So they're similar, so they're the exact same triangle. And then there's another rectangle at the bottom here, B we'll call it. Then there's a rectangle at the back, C. And then there's a rectangle which is this slanting thing, we'll call it D. I mean, it's a bit confusing with all the letters. So first of all, we'll find the area of this triangle over here. Okay, so the area of any triangle is just half times base times height, which is, and the base is 4. Half times 4 times height is 3. So that's 12 divided by 2, which is nothing but 6. So the area of A is 6. So the area of the surface area of both triangles altogether is just 6 times 2, since they're the exact same thing, so it's 12. Okay, now we'll find the area of the bottom rectangle over here, which is the base of the whole shape, the surface area. So the surface area, the area of any rectangle, is just length times width. So B is equal to length times width. And in this case, the length is 15. Look, it's this. And the width is this slant thing over here, so it's 4. So length times width, which is 15 times 4, which is 60. Now we'll find the length of the back of the prism, which we'll call C. So again, it's a rectangle if you look at it, and it's length times width to find the area. The length is nothing but 15 again, because if you notice, this is equal to this, so it's 15 times the width is nothing but this part, because look, this rectangle is like that. So 15 times 3, which is nothing but 45. So C is equal to 45. And now we're going to find the area of this kind of slant over here. We'll call it B. And it's also a rectangle if you really look closely at it. And right, so basically again the area of a rectangle is length times width. And in this case the length is again 15. And the width is this slant height, which is 5. So 15 times 5, which is nothing but 75. Okay, so now what is the total surface area of the prism? It's nothing but A plus B, the base, plus C plus D. So it's all of those areas of those shapes added up. So A is 6, so 6 plus B is 60, plus C, which is 45, plus D, which is 75. And this will give you a total answer of 192 centimeters squared, because it's area. Okay, last question I'm going to do for this part, and we have to solve the simultaneous equation in question 9. So first of all, I'll call this equation 1, and I'll call this equation 2. Now, there are two methods of doing this, substitution or elimination. But what I'll do is elimination. So basically, what elimination is where you have to have at least either the x or the y variable. You got to have it like in the same amount, meaning like over here it's 1 and 1. So then you can eliminate. So either one of the variables has to be the exact same coefficient. So in this case, they're the exact same coefficient. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically add these two equations because they're opposite signs, this sign and this sign. So we're going to add these two equations to eliminate the y's. So basically by adding them, we get 8x, y plus minus y is just nothing but y minus y, and that's 0. So we're going to add the two equations, and then 8x is equal to 4 plus 8, which is 12. So x is equal to 12 over 8 by dividing both sides by 8, and that simplifies to 3 over 2. Now that we have x is equal to 3 over 2, all we need to do is substitute it either in 1 or 2, 2 or 1, and equation 2 or 1, and we'll get a value of y. So let's substitute in the easier one, which is equation 1. So we just substitute x. So we just substitute 3 times 3 over 2 plus y is equal to 4. So 9 over 2 plus y is equal to 4. Y is equal to 4 minus 9 over 2 is nothing but 4.5. So y is equal to negative 0.5. So your final answer is x equal to 1.5, y equal to negative 0.5. Okay, we're done with part 1 of paper 4H from math from May 2008. Please comment if you have any questions, rate and subscribe this video, and please go on to watch part 2. Bye guys.